Life gets in the way. I hear that a lot, all the time, in my life. Constantly. Constantly. When people forget to do certain responsibilities, forget to do certain assignments, forget to do videos on YouTube, forget to do, forget to watch certain things they wanted to watch, forgetting to write certain articles people wanted to write, for any quote-unquote outside projects that people have in their lives. Everyone always says, life gets in the way. And I always never really understood what that meant. For most of my life, I always viewed that as just, lack of time management more than anything. Life doesn't get in the way. You just, if you really have time to do something, commit time to it. And if you don't have time to do something because quote-unquote life gets in the way, then to me that just says that your life is not allowing you to commit to these activities that you want to commit to. It's not that life gets in the way, it's just that your lifestyle doesn't allow you time to commit to something. This video. I recorded this video 3 weeks ago. What day is it? June 16th? I recorded this video, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, almost to the day, I recorded this video talking about all my reviews of the Chikara shows of 2013. I recorded it the day before the Aniversario pay-per-view. And in that video, I talked a lot about whether or not Chikara was going to make it or not. There was a lot of rumors. I personally had heard from several people. And I heard from several people, not who would know, but who know people who know, who would know. That's kind of how the wrestling business works. So I really wasn't sure if Chikara was gonna die or not. I heard several rumors that it could. So in the video, I spent a large portion of the video talking about whether or not this would be the end of Chikara, and I talked about all the shows. Then the pay-per-view happened. We all know what happened there. And then the next day, first off, the rest of that day, I was kind of bummed. Whether or not Chikara was dead or not dead, I knew Chikara would be gone for a while. And some few people may be out there being like, oh, you're overreacting. It's just a wrestling show. It's an entertainment product that you love. It's nothing more than that. Having been to several Chikara shows myself, having interacted with many of the wrestlers on the roster, with Bryce Remsburg, with Gavin Loudspeaker, with Mike Quackenbush himself once. When you are a diehard Chikara fan, when you are a quote-unquote Chikarmy member, it really does feel like a family. And I know that's a cliche for every wrestling promotion, but it's not true for most of them like it is for Chikara. I'll never forget when me and Brian went to the King of Trios fan conclave, and all the wrestlers gave us free pictures, every single one. It's not like any other wrestling convention I've ever been to in my life where you have to pay $20 to get into the convention and like 10 to $20 per picture for each person. The Chikara King of Trios, the fan conclave, Ultramantis Black is like, you don't have to pay for a picture. Come right over here. Dasher Hatfield, here, let's do a baseball pose on the house. Fire Ant and Green Ant are like, nah, you guys don't pay. Sean Waltman, 123 Kid X-Pac is like, nah, you guys don't pay. This overwhelming support and encouragement and family-like atmosphere with Chikara is unlike any other. And, for example, I attended the Wrestling is Art show May 12th in Providence, Rhode Island. It's right by where I go to school, so it was very easy for me to go there. And there was, 30 people in the crowd. Maybe that's being generous, but nonetheless, a lot of Chikara talent was on the show. And while I'm at the show, before the show starts, I'm just talking to Gavin, and I'm talking, to Gary from Smart Mark Video, and I'm talking to all these people, and everyone's just interacting. Everyone's treating me really well. Everyone's really nice, even for a very small show. You feel a part of something. And in life, we all want to feel a part of something. Whether it be we want to be a part of our family, our group of families, our friends, our best friends, sporting organizations, clubs, achievements, anything in life, you want to be a part of something. It's almost like a psychological fact that human beings by nature want to feel included. They want to be a part of something. And with Chikara, you feel a part of something. You feel a part of this family-like movement, which is why you love the promotion so much. So when I found out, when I heard many rumors as to what was happening with Chikara, I was pretty bummed. Because I felt a part of something. It's not like, I don't want to put on the sob story that, not to get too into my personal life, that I'm not a part of any other group. That's not true. I mean, I have a very nice family. I have a very, very great group of best friends, both here in Miami, Florida, where I live, and in Providence, Rhode Island, where I go to school. I've met a wonderful community of people here on the internet, all great wrestling fans over the world, that whenever I go to shows, I like to interact with and meet. Like, it's not like Chikara is the only group I felt a part of, but when you lose that group that you feel a part of, even if you have others to fall back on, even if you have others that are more important, like a family, like friends, it's still sad. I was talking to my friend Sean Duggar. I forget his. God damn it! What the fuck was his YouTube handle? Fuck, he's gonna kill me. I can't believe I forgot. Followed him on here for a while. Whatever his YouTube handle is, which I can't remember. It might. I don't think it's Sean Duggar. I think it's something else. But whatever it is, I talked to him on Facebook the other day. Like, how you taking it? And he was also like, you know what, dude? Kind of hurts that Chikara's gone for now. I don't know if it's coming back or not. No one knows. I think the only one that knows is Quack. I think anybody that says they know or don't, or know, they know for sure it's not coming back, or know, for sure that it's not coming back, I think everyone's full of shit. I think the only guy that knows is Quack. Me personally, there's too much evidence for me to think Chikara's going away forever. There's too many things that don't make sense. Why would Quack have a fake lineup of shows, which clearly he was never going to run? I highly doubt Chikara was ever going to go to California. Why would Quack run a fake list of shows if Chikara really was going to die? Why wouldn't they just have Aniversario Never Compromise as the last show on the calendar? If it was really going to end, wouldn't there be some big goodbye tour? Wouldn't it be like the last show is booked with all Chikara regulars in the top main spots, Hallowicked, Eddie Kingston, Ultramantis, Jigsaw, Icarus. Who's another one I'm missing? I mean, Quack himself, if he's not too hurt. Wouldn't they have maybe even the Colony? I know they're not originals, but they've been around for a while. Wouldn't those guys be all in all the main events? When they're face and heel doesn't matter. It's like a goodbye Chikara, thank you Chikara type thing. We love you, the fans. Would it really be an out of nowhere snap, lights go out, Chikara's dead? I've heard some people, I know my friend Ben says that would make sense for a final show, and I do think it does. I think a lot of people are saying, oh, what they did couldn't possibly make sense for a series finale, so why would it be the end? I'm not saying it does make sense. I mean, I'm not saying that I would have done it, but I do think it makes sense. I do think that can work, but I don't think it's something that Chikara specifically would do. I think Chikara would do more of a goodbye tour type thing. I think Chikara would still run King of Trios. Why would Chikara just book it like nothing, have the mentality of, okay, let's just keep booking wrestling like nothing's wrong, and then all of a sudden, bam, goodbye Chikara. And also, Quack did a video, I don't know if it's still on the Chikara site, where it was a long video saying the answers at the end. And at the very end of the video, it was a date, September 15th, Easton, Pennsylvania, which everyone obviously presumed was King of Trios weekend. And why would Quack, if Quack really knew Chikara was going to die and was never going to come back, why would Quack put out this video to tease people that, King of Trios was coming? I really think that's very mean. I think that, I know Quack is not the nicest guy. Well, I don't know Quack, but from what I've heard, Quack is not the nicest guy in the world. And not that he's mean, but that, he's very methodical in what he wants. But I don't think he's an asshole like that. I mean, that's just a handful of things that I have a problem with. I mean, just, like I said, just too many things don't make sense for me to think this is actually the end of Chikara. But I prepared myself for such a matter just in case it was the end. I have some people I know tell me for sure it's over. I have one or two other people telling me for sure it's not over. Like I said, I don't think anybody knows this is a quack. If this really is one big elaborate angle, I think Quack would want to make sure no one else finds out about it. And like the interview Quack did with Dr. Keith Lipinski right before the iPay-per-view, saying all the rumors are false, Chikara's not going anywhere, and then he previewed the iPay-per-view. Why would he do that if Chikara's going to die? What's the point in saying, no, we're not actually dying, then we die? Why wouldn't he just say, like, yes, this is the end, everyone go support Chikara's last show? I don't understand the point in, like, you know, putting it over, like, there's not going to be a death, and then it actually dies. It's just all too confusing for me to think it's the end. But whether it's the end or isn't the end, it's just kind of sad. And as far as going back to my life gets in the way thing, I've been wanting to talk about this for the past 2 weeks, and every day something came up. Every day something came up. Well, first off, now I have a new job now, and my new job, as opposed to my old job where I could pick my own hours, my new job requires me to wake up at 9:30 every day, get to work by 10, and not get home till 5:30. Because of that, I have very limited time. And because my beloved Miami Heat are in the playoffs, every other day, I pretty much spend the whole day, like, you know, whether I'm going to a bar with friends, like I got to drive to the bar, be there like an hour and a half, 2 hours early just to get a table, then spend 3 hours watching the game, then come home, and I got to go to bed because I got to wake up early, and then do it again 2 days later. Like, you know, the Heat have really taken up a lot of my free time. Like, it's like I get home from work, I'm at my house for like 30 minutes, then I got to go get a table for the Heat game. The fucking Heat have taken up a lot of my free time, which is probably why I haven't gotten this video done. And then, you know, something else just always came up. Something, my grandfather, for those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, my grandfather just passed away today. And he's been sick for a while now, a long time. I've seen it coming for a long, long time. Don't get me wrong, I mean, obviously today was very, I mean, he passed away today on Father's Day, which I personally found to be very poetically beautiful. I think it, you know, glorifies, like, you know, the importance of your parents and your grandparents in your life, and it's a pretty good way to go out, in my opinion. But yeah, like, today we were in the hospital, my whole family was there, and he just passed away, and, you know, it was very hard, obviously. I mean, obviously I cried, obviously I was very broken up about it, but, I don't know, like, just because I got so much advanced warning, well, that didn't make the blow any easier when it actually happened, and I'm sure the funeral's not going to be fun. You know, right now, I just, like, I feel a little bit at peace, you know, I feel a little at peace knowing that I prepared for it for a while. He died with his family around him. He died with, you know, on Father's Day. So, I'm happy. You know, I'm a little happy that he's in a better place. But this, because my grandfather's been really sick, I was in the hospital doing that for 2 weeks. And this is all unrelated to Chikara, but I just want to say that life can be so unexpected that there's almost nothing you can plan these days. Because you just never know when something's going to pop up out of nowhere and change everything. This job, I didn't find out about this job till the day before I started. I found out like on a Sunday midday, and I started working Monday morning. Like, you know, like, and my grandfather, you know, for a long time, before the past 2 weeks, I mean, he'd been sick. Don't get me wrong, he'd been sick, but, you know, I figured, you know, I mean, I still had all four of my grandparents, and all my other three grandparents were in much worse shape than he was. So I figured, you know, like, he would be around for a while, even though he's sick. But then, like, 2-3 weeks ago, he took a turn for the worse, and, well, we knew the end was near soon. And that changed everything. And Chikara dies. And I know, obviously, the level of importance of that compared to my grandfather passing away, and, you know, even to me getting a new job, like, you know, it's not as important, but my life just seems so different right now. Very, very different. And I haven't changed. I'm still in college. My education hasn't changed, but everything just seems so different from a year ago, from even a month ago. I just want you all to realize very quickly that life can, out of nowhere, with no forewarning, just completely changes. And that's what I've learned the past 2 weeks. So that's why this video is late. Obviously, I'm sure none of you are going to be like, oh, you asshole. Like, you know, god damn that you got a new job. Why the fuck wasn't making this video a top priority? Fuck your Miami Heat. I don't think any of you would say that. But nonetheless, I really, really wanted to do this video because I love talking about Chikara. I've been very behind and kind of need I haven't seen a lot of wrestling lately at all. And if I'm going to watch any wrestling right now, it's going to be Chikara. I have right here, is this the show? I have right here the Georgia show. And I'm going to watch the Tag World Grand Prix. I'll do that. I'll do those two shows and the ROH television for Best in the World. With the Best in the World review. Probably all on the same day. If I'm lucky, I can finish all the TV and watch those 3 shows before Saturday, which is going to be very hard. And then Saturday, watch the pay-per-view. But, yeah. Also, the Fatheads. Undertaker Fatheads back. I remember I was telling Drew Gulak at the Wrestling is Art show. Because he was like, hey, man, what happened to the Undertaker Fathead? And I'm like, no, dude, don't worry. It's coming back. It's coming back. And there it is. I actually never, I don't know if I ever talked about the Fatheads on here very quickly. People have always asked me why I have them. I have a lot. I have a University of Miami Fathead actually on that side of the room. But it's torn apart, and I kind of want to show it on camera because it's old. It's been there for a while, and it's torn apart a little bit. But in this Christmas of 2007, my mother asked me and my brothers, you know, what we wanted for Christmas. I was 12 at the time, I think. No, I was 13. I was 13 at the time, in the Christmas of 2007. And she was like, oh, what do you guys want for Christmas? And I'm like, I don't really care. For whatever reason, I just had nothing in mind that year. I was just like, I don't know. And he's like, what do you want? What do you want? And I'm just like, I don't know. And so she's like, okay, I'll make it a surprise for the whole family. So from our whole family, she got us a bunch of Fatheads. There's a Miami Heat Fathead in my brother's room over there. There's a Miami Dolphins Fathead in my brother's room back there, back behind that door. And there's a Marlins Fathead down the hall that way. So, and then for me, for myself, because they got my brother's sports, my mom wanted to do something different for me, so she got me 2 of my favorite loves, The Undertaker and Homer Simpson. The University of Miami Fathead, that was in another room as well, but we needed to move it because we didn't have space for it, and they just put it here just because I had the wall space for it. That's pretty much it. But yeah, Undertaker Fathead. It's cool. Very cool. Scary. Not gonna lie. The first few weeks, like, you know, you wake up out of bed and you're staring at the Undertaker, and it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, there's the Undertaker Fathead. And there's Homer Simpson. Well, anyways, let's move on. Chikara. I'll talk very briefly about the February and March shows. Not that I don't remember them, because I actually remember them pretty well, which I'm kind of impressed with, not to put myself over. But more just that they're irrelevant, and I don't really need to, not irrelevant, but they're a little dated, so I don't need to like review them like match by match. But I can definitely say this much: the February double shot is one of the best double shots Chikara's ever done. Well, this in the past like 2 years, not like in the history of the promotion. For the first February show, the first half starts off not rough, but just kind of uninteresting. The Batiri Ice Creams, Frightmare, Ophidian matches were a little too short for my liking. The Frightmare Ophidian match, I really didn't like the finish. And the opener was solid. You know, it was fun. But, like, you know, it wasn't like anything blow away. And the Dasher Hatfield Delirious match was just an angle to set up the June pay-per-view, which a lot of people have been very critical. I know for one thing, Chikara's gotten a lot of heat lately for their general booking directions. I know some people have had issues with them like the past 6-12 months. But no, I really disagreed with most of them. But I will say the one thing that I did vehemently agree with was the booking of the Delirious Dasher Hatfield stuff. They do a 30-second match, which Dasher Hatfield wins out of nowhere, and then Delirious beats him up afterwards. You don't see Delirious ever again for the rest of 2013, and then Dasher does a blog saying that he's not going to let Delirious be a bully to him, and he's going to come back and prove him wrong at the pay-per-view. But you already beat him. You beat him in 30 seconds. What do you have to prove to him? Yeah, he kicked your ass afterwards, and I get that you want revenge, but you beat him. Don't make it a bully uprising story. Like, you know, Dasher like praised it, like, you know, I'm gonna finally upstart the bully and show him what's coming. You already beat him. And, you know, we never saw Delirious the rest of the year. Like, I don't know. To me, I was a little meh on that. I thought they had a fun match at the iPay-per-view, but I wasn't big a fan of that angle. But yeah, on the show, Gran and Eddie Kingston had a really fun match. This, in my opinion, was better than their title match later on. I really loved that match. And Young Bucks and Kevin Steen versus 3.0 Gran Akuma. I thought that match was so much fun. Kevin Steen really worked well in Chikara, I thought. Well, minus the cursing. And Hallowicked and Taylor had a fun match. And Archibald, Peck, and Mr. Touchdown had a great match. Great match. Combines everything that is necessary with Chikara. Fun action. Great storytelling. Paying attention, bringing back small elements of their feud over the past 6 months. It felt like a blow off. It felt important. You were heavily into the match. An excellent representation of Chikara. Great main event. Very good show. Very fun show. Like I said, if the first half wasn't a little like it would have gotten a much higher rating. But the second half is top notch. Then the next show, While the Dawn is Breaking. This show is very interesting because there's good matches and then there's terrible matches. Touchdown and Saturyne had a very fun match. I thought this was better than their match before, their preview of Go-Go. F.I.S.T and Connie had a fun match. Peck and Donst was more of an angle, but I just thought it was whatever. Jakob, Hammermeier and Gran sucked. I didn't like that. Kobald and Dasher Hatfield I thought was terrible. And I like Kobald. And I like Dasher. Kobald is on my man crush list, along with Matt Tremont, otherwise known as my guilty pleasure list. But Matt Tremont, Kobald I like, but Kobald and this didn't work for me. I wasn't a fan of that match. But the last 3 matches, the 6-man tag was a lot of fun. Kevin Steen and Eddie Kingston was a really fun match, and the main event's great. I was really into the last 2 near falls. The 2 out of 3 falls came to work. Both teams worked really hard. The fans were really into it, and I was really into the title change. I thought it was a great match. So that show, like you said, this show's a little more consistent because it has more quote unquote good matches, and the main event on this show I think was better than the main event on the first show. But like I said, what isn't great is kind of blah, but nonetheless a very good show. Very good February double shot. The March double shot. The first half of the March double shot is some of the best Chikara action you will see in a while. The opener is a lot of fun. Archibald, Peck, and O'Baron is one of the funniest Chikara matches I've seen in a long time. Hallowicked and Sean Waltman is the best Sean Waltman match since the El Generico match. Those two work so well together. I mean, they did a lot of smoke and mirrors, and what Waltman really they didn't have Waltman do a lot. Like, they kind of just had Waltman come in and do a big high spot, or not a big near fall, I guess is a better word. He did a big move, and Hallowicked worked with him really well. But I thought that match was a lot of fun. John Gargano and Gran Akuma had a really good match. The crowd really dug that one. The first half is so much fun. The 8-man with the Con Extreme Force, I personally, that was just okay. I know a lot of people really like this match. Me personally, I was just not that into Con Extreme Force at the start. I actually liked what they did better at WrestleCon live, at least. But this one, I thought they were fine, I guess, to start. But I wasn't really too blown away by them. But I know a lot of people that did like that match. And Touchdown and Jakob Hammermeier was sucked. What do you want to say? 3.0 and Devastation Corporation was a really fun match. Devastation Corporation, I love them. I think they're great. And I think any of you guys out there that hate them are just spot marks. Move marks, I guess. I think, I'm not going to say who, but I heard from someone who heard from someone that one wrestler in particular thinks that, one pretty well-known wrestler on the internet, thinks that a lot of the internet fans, they focus so much, on selling and botches and, spots, that they almost focus on it too much, and they don't pay attention enough to the matter of fact of, did this match capture the crowd? Did it capture you? Regardless of botches, selling moves, whatever, did it have that moment where it captured you and got you into the match? And for me, this match did. And mechanically, there was nothing wrong with it at all. I'm just saying for Devastation Corporation, for their other matches, that's one of the main criticisms I've seen. Oh, they don't sell well. That is just a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, did the match work? Yes or no? Did it get you? Did it have that snap magic moment? If it did, then it's good. If it didn't, then it's not so good. It's that simple sometimes. The best, I'll never forget, when someone called into the Dave Meltzer show and asked him, Dave Meltzer, how would you define psychology in wrestling? And he said, whatever works. Great definition. Whatever works. I talk about this all the time on here. There is no such thing as checklist wrestling. There is no set, predetermined list of things that a wrestling match has to have in order to be good or great. That does not exist. It's whatever works on whatever particular day. And this match worked big time with me. Big fan of this match. Both guys did really, really good. I want to rate it higher, but as the great Nightmare Baller once said one time, for I believe it was American Wolves versus Kevin Steen and El Generico submission match. It was at Manhattan Mayhem 3, and he gave it like 4 1/4. And he's like, I love this match so much. I want to rate it more, but it doesn't deserve more. That's the best way I could say it. I want to rate it higher, but it doesn't deserve higher. Like, it was a very good match. But, like, it was the Johnny Gargano match was better, I thought. But I still really liked this match. Main event was really disappointing, though. Main event really hurt the show. Quack should have known better. He should have put Corporation and 3.0 in the main event. Because Kong really can't do a lot these days. And I don't blame her. I mean, she's gone through a lot. But, no, don't do a 7-minute main event. When is that ever acceptable in any organization? Like I said, I thought it really hurt the show. I would have given this show, like, the highest rating of any Chikara show this year had they switched the main events and had the Corporation match, like, gone on longer. But instead, they did what they did. I don't understand why. But this was still a good show, pretty good show. But like I said, just disappointing. Watch America, I don't want to talk about too much. The show is just all right. I will say this. The main event's fun, and Archibald, Peck, and Donst have a good match. The Quack and Fire Ant versus Jigsaw and the Shard match is really, really good. That is like that's probably like my 4th or 5th Chikara match of the year. Like, that match was so much fun. So definitely try to check that one out. But the rest of the show, not worth it. The Shoulder of Palace. I think I talked a little bit about the show when I reviewed WrestleMania weekend. I think on tape, I can say that the show didn't come off as good, but it was still a good show, I thought. The main event's still great. Great match. I just finished watching that match, actually. I really, really dug it. The F.I.S.T versus 3.0 Gran Akuma Argentinian match comes off just as good as DVDs did live, in my opinion. This match is so much fun. One of the best Atomic matches I've seen from Chikara in a while. And the rest of the show, like, there's not a lot of 3-star ratings, but there's still enjoyable stuff. Like, the Kobald Saturyne match I thought was enjoyable, but I'm also a huge mark for both of those wrestlers. I usually say both of those guys, but I will be respectful of Saturyne. The 8-man, the multi-man tag match started off a lot of fun. The finish I didn't like, but nonetheless, I still thought, the majority of the match was enjoyable. Donst and Peck, I thought, had a fun match. Just it didn't go too long. Well, I wish it could have gone a little longer. That's probably why the rating isn't higher. But I still thought it was fun. I had a good time when I was watching it. And the Colony Extreme Force match was enjoyable. Like I said, I liked it more than the Florida match, but I'm probably the only person in the world that thinks that. But I thought they were more enjoyable in this match. I will say this: Arctic Rescue Ant in the Florida match was so cool. He was so over that day. And Eddie Kingston and Hallowicked, it was good. It came off better live. I thought on DVD I was actually pretty disappointed by how it came out. I remembered it being a lot better than what it was, but it was still a good match. I still really liked it. Eddie Kingston, these two work really well together. I presume they're friends, and they have a history. They have a history of a feud in Chikara, so like I said, show's a good show. Let the market say. Battle Not with Monsters, a very good show from Chikara. Great consistency up and down this card. The Extreme Force match, Amasas and Shard, both matches were very good. Touchdown Chivikin had a fun match for what they were given. Eddie Kingston and Green had another very good match. Not as good as their February match, in my opinion. Spectral Envoy and F.I.S.T. at the match of the night. That match was so much fun. Finish I didn't like, but they had a really, really fun match. Archibald, Peck, and Jigsaw, I also thought was a lot of fun. I almost gave this one 3.5. Like I said, I just wish it went a little longer, but this match was very, very enjoyable. This is mechanically probably the best, without any gimmicks and without any comedy. This is probably the best Archibald Peck match I've seen in Chikara. Because the touchdown match, it's a great match, but that match is great because they brought in so many storyline elements of the match. And what's another example? The Chuck Taylor match from last year is like the funniest match, like one of the funniest matches in Chikara history. But it was funny. As far as like a pure wrestling match, which is what this is one of the best I've seen from Peck and Chikara. I really liked it. But yeah, the show. I can't really talk about much about the show. The show's consistent, 7.5. It's really, really good. Missile Sultan and Saturyne, it only went like 3 minutes long, but I thought it was a lot of fun. So instead of giving it a star rating, like a star and a half, and giving it an inaccurate description of what it was, I'll call it what it was. It was a fun match. It was very short, so instead of just giving it a rating, I'll just say it was fun. You know, I enjoyed it. Then we got Aniversario. As far as Aniversario, I thought was the Chikara show of the year. I thought it was really, really, really good. The Colony Extreme Force Spectral Envoy match, you know, was solid. I thought it was a decent opener. The Colony Extreme Force, I think, are a lot of fun. I really like when I was live at WrestleCon, I was really into their gimmick. I was next to a Trademark and Nightmare 88 Phil from YouTube Take, and like whenever Missile Sultan would like do his thing, we would both go. All of us would go, Missile Assault Ant. It was a lot of fun. So props to them. They're really entertaining. But I'm not one to criticize wrestlers because I'm not a wrestler. But I'm not too into their matches on DVD. I think they're a lot of fun. I think the gimmick is a lot of fun. But when they actually have to wrestle, I mean, they're not bad. It's not like Jakob, and I love Jakob to death. But Jakob's matches in Chikara this year haven't been good. But these guys, like when they actually wrestle, like, you know, I don't think it's terrible, but I'm not particularly blown away by it. But the Envoy, they did good with them, and like, you know, they had a good start and a good finish. Dasher and Delirious had a fun match. I really enjoyed what they did. The Colony and the Devastation Corporation, the match of the night. One of my matches of the year for 2013. I mean, I only have like 12 matches on the list so far, but it's on the list. It's so much fun. So much fun. The Devastation Corporation were awesome in this match. Everyone in the Colony did a kick-ass job. This match is that perfect example of when a match just gets you. Like 5 to 10 minutes before the end of this match, I remember I was in the zone. Like I felt like I was there. I was just so into everything they were doing. And that's when you know a match just clicks. And that was this match. Damn good stuff. Gavin Loudspeaker and Tim Donst was awesome. It was just a great segment. It paid off the feud brilliantly. It paid off the storyline with Jakob and Turtle and Veronica beautifully. Like, you know, it was perfect. The crowd was super into everything Gavin did. This was awesome. And again, I'm not gonna give it an improper star rating to give it a miss, because, like, you know, as far as the actual wrestling in the ring, like, you know, I mean, it was more of a segment than an actual match. So I'm just gonna say that what they did in this match was awesome. Gavin Loudspeaker, I mean, when I see him again, hopefully I can't see him at the next Wrestling is Art show because it's during the summertime when I'm not in school yet. But hopefully, if I get to see Gavin ever again, because I probably won't, maybe if it's not a Chikara, if I ever get to see Gavin like in another Wrestling Is show again, I want to go up to him and just go, man, you kicked ass. Because Gavin, if you're watching this by any chance, you kicked ass. That match was so awesome. Great job. 3.0 versus Pieces of Hate, I thought was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Not as good as I thought it would be, but I still thought it was a really, really good match. I was still really into everything they were doing. Mosses and Ophidian, this one you either really liked or you really hated. I know a lot of people hated it. I mean, it did go 30 minutes, which, even though I liked the match, that's absurd for a mid-card match. That's fucking absurd for a mid-card match. But I liked it, because to me it was like a movie. I mean, it was 30 minutes long. It might as well have been a movie. But to me, the match was like a movie. Like, it did go long, and it is a casket match, so there's no near falls. And the casket was really far away. Another criticism I've heard is the casket was really far away from the ring, so you had to like drag the bodies to the casket. But to me, it felt like a movie. It felt like a really, really good movie, and the storyline, the storytelling was brilliant, I thought. Now again, not everybody liked it. I know some people that definitely didn't like it, and again, it did go 30 minutes. I understand completely. But to me, you know, even though I did think it dragged in parts, I overall thought it was a really good match, just because the story they were telling was fantastic. And like I said, it felt like a movie. And I was really into a movie that they put on. So yeah, good stuff from them, I thought. But again, most people would feel differently. Eddie Kingston and Icarus, I thought was a very good main event. I do wish we got a finish. I will say this. If this is one big angle, congrats to Chikara, because I think it's going to be a great angle. But they still should have given us a finish. I still stand by that. You can't go off your possible last show ever without a finish. Sorry. As much as I defend Chikara, I can't defend that. But I did think the match was really good. The crowd was really behind Icarus. I was for the Icarus title shot, and everybody that was complaining and bitching like, oh, Icarus doesn't deserve the title shot, were the same people that were marking out if he would have won the title. So just to all those complaining wrestling fans that really don't know what they're talking about. But this match was very, very entertaining. I was personally really into it. Again, kind of bummed we didn't get a finish, but I won't let it overshadow a really good match. At least I won't. I know other people might. That's your thing. That's not mine. So yeah, I thought the show was really, really good. If we got a finish and a title change for the main event, I probably would have given this show an 8. But without a finish, I'll give it a 7.75. Still a very, very good show. I would definitely recommend buying it for only $15, especially the Colony Devastation Corporation match. Definitely check that match out. But yeah, the pay-per-view was a lot of fun. Give it a watch. And that's it for me. Hopefully, this isn't it for Chikara. This is not it for my Chikara reviews because I still have 3 shows left to watch. But nonetheless, thank you all for everything. And just remember, life can get in the way pretty handedly sometimes. But yeah, I'm out, guys. See ya. Goodbye.